All right, so I'm pretty irritated at the moment about things that I hear. And, the worst thing about being right is that most of what I'm right about is proved to be right by the incompetence of others. Today it's this guy, his name is Gordon, and he's some beauty, health, salon kind of guy, and he put down the hair dryer and picked up a smartphone, and now he's a social media guru. And we all know, the industry knows what to do with people who call themselves gurus. We're all students of social media because it evolves so rapidly. Nobody's a guru. If he says he is, you should probably can him immediately. So, that aside, Mashable had an article about what's changing in the Facebook news feed, and he chimed in, and he's another one of those people that makes that comment like, nobody goes there anymore because it's too crowded, which is nonsensical. But you hear that, and this is what we're hearing about Facebook. So Mashable's article about the news feed and what changed, he chimes in with his commentary first. And here's the problem: he gets heard by millions of people because he was very popular in one industry, and he grew to, he has this gigantic megaphone and a following of other numbnutses that listen to everything he says. And now he's a social media guy. So he needs to, pick the hairbrush back up and stop talking shit about social media because he's wrong, pretty much categorically speaking. So he says here's a great explanation to why Facebook is becoming less and less valuable and interesting for so many of us. Incorrect. Given the growth and connections we all have, Facebook is working to limit what we see in news feeds so as not to overwhelm us all. Incorrect. Good idea, but imperfect approach for sure. I'll buy that because, Facebook is not the 100,000 user little sports car that could change everything in a blink, and it worked. Now it's like trying to be nimble and agile with a semi-truck. It just doesn't happen quickly and easily. I'm now having to really work to see what I hope to see, and it's driving me nuts. Partially correct. We'll get there. Good news, I'm spending less and less time on Facebook. That is good news. Less time you spend on Facebook, the less we have to hear from you. The bad news is I'm missing out on things. Well, that can be fixed. It's become a lot like the once great shopping malls that grew too big, too diverse, too hard to find what you wanted, too much time roaming, too little time getting the stuff you like and need. Will be interesting to see what comes next. Alright, so Facebook's not becoming less valuable for anybody. It's not becoming less interesting for anybody. To the contrary, it's becoming more valuable, more interesting. It's why the stimulation is growing. It's why the newsfeed overload is happening, because people are providing more content, and it's more interesting, but what we're not getting more of is hours in the day. So that was basically 180 degrees opposite. Facebook's not working to limit what you see, okay? That's limit is the worst possible word. To limit what you see is we're going to show you 100 items, now we're going to show you 50. We're limiting what you see. That's not what's happening. Facebook is trying to curate the things that you see, so you may see less of something, but it's being replaced by something else. And that something is things, they try to be as organic as possible and show you what they think you want to see. There's just too much happening, too many moving parts. So now it's the people who are curing their own content allows Facebook to put it in the pipeline more easily. Quickly, what that means is people who pay for it, write good content, are going to get shown more frequently than those who don't. So you might be limited in certain things, but more in other things. So they're not limiting what you see overall. Without explanation, that is contextually inaccurate and it ruins the message. He's not having to work to see what he hopes to see, and he shouldn't have to. What's happening is people are not working on the other side. Yes, the end user is having a harder time finding what they want natively appearing in their recurring newsfeed, and that's because of the 15 million pages, fan pages that we've liked over the years. Of those, most of them are really mucking it up on the back end, and they're not putting out the right content. So you may want to see things all about cars, or all about salons, or all about pie. I don't know what you like. And you're not seeing enough of that because the pages that you follow are not getting through the noise. So they're not doing their end, and they're making work for you. It's not Facebook's fault. It's not your fault. It's the back end people, the pages, the suppliers, the sources, not doing their part. So they've got to work on that and get better at that, and that's what we talk about a lot. It's very, very simple. It could be complex, but it could also be really simple to cut through a lot of that noise. I can craft these messages and target one individual person. I can make sure that Gordon sees every post I post if I want to take the time to filter everything down and bottleneck it so it only applies to one of the 180 million Facebook users in the US. I don't really have that need or that kind of time. And it's just not serving anyway. Here's the end result. It's not getting less valuable. People are not moving away from it. It is more crowded because it's wildly popular, hugely valuable. It is the place to be. Years ago, Zuckerberg said he doesn't want to be a service. He doesn't want to be a luxury. He doesn't want to be an extra. He wants to be a utility. Could you live like it's 1860 without electricity in your house? You could, but that's a utility. It's part of your life. That's the way it is. That's what Facebook has become. That was their goal. Now it's big, it's noisy. Shopping malls are no less valuable than they used to be, Gordon. They just require a little bit of effort on your part and the part of the store. If everybody lives together in an ecosystem, by definition, bi-directional, people working off of each other, mutually healthy relationships, if everybody operated that way, everybody would be happy. So understanding the broad strokes is not enough. You got to get in the weeds. You got to make sense of all this. This whole people away from Facebook needs to stop. It's growing like a weed. So get it through your head. Use it the right way or don't use it at all. But lighting these fires about how it's awful is just complete idiocy. So I'm going to show you soon exactly how to craft your messages to get out to the right people. And you're going to look overwhelmed, and it's why a million companies exist out there, myself included, to help you work through this process. And there's enough work for all of us because it matters that much. Social media companies are not sprouting up because nobody needs it. Trust me. So I'm going to show you that soon, and it'll make more sense.